All aboard the train. We're headed to the Leupold Optics Factory in Beaverton, Oregon. I'm Matt Drury, and this is DoDTV. This segment of DoDTV is brought to you by Leupold. Be relentless. Earlier this summer, Mark Drury headed west to meet up with the fine folks at Leupold. Leupold takes great pride in their rifle scopes being American-made. With their state-of-the-art facility, it's no wonder that their products are the industry standard for performance. Let's join Mark now as he embarks on part one of this two-part series inside the Leupold factory.
All right, it's a great day in Oregon. We've got the distinct pleasure of having Mark Drury from Team Drury up with us, and as many of you know, Mark and the rest of Team Drury joined us at the beginning of really last hunting season. It's been almost a year that we've had our partnership going, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And Mark is a busy guy, and we had an opportunity to get him up this summer to visit the factory here in Oregon, and we're getting ready to go take him through a tour of the Leupold factory, which is a special place. So thanks for coming, and we're happy to have you up.
Had I known that the highs were in the 60s and 70s, I probably would have been here back in early May as soon as turkey season ended up, because the weather's perfect. And this is one of the cool parts of the job, because I get to now see how it's made. That's pretty cool. I've been through a lot of different factories, but I've never been through this one. So we're going to take you on a little tour here in Beaverton, Oregon.
We've been making rifle scopes here for 70 years in Oregon, which is a pretty amazing thing when you think about it. We've got a number of employees. I think it's about 13 employees now that have over 40 years of experience with the company. So you think about, that kind of expertise, pretty phenomenal.
That's pretty incredible.
Every single scope or any type of sight that you're going to mount on any firearm, whether it's a handgun, bolt action, AR, doesn't matter. It has to be made in this factory. Our team takes a lot of pride in that. It's a big deal to them that kind of moment of truth that we control with that optic, making sure it's true.
Absolutely.
Is a big deal, and you'll see that in the testing and everything that we do. So Mark, what we'll do is we'll get down here and start at the beginning of literally where our raw materials come in.
Okay.
And we have constant deliveries coming in, constantly making sure that the factory has the appropriate material to begin the process of manufacturing.
How far out are you in front of when that material hits that door? How long until it hits the store shelf?
It's going. Oh, to the store shelf? Depending on what it is, but it's about what, Tim? Yeah, it's about a 2-day process total.
Wow.
Yeah. What we do is a complex thing, right? So you take one of our high-end rifle scopes, a VX6 for example, and you've got roughly 15 parts in that scope, depending on which one it is.
215 parts in a VX6. Now right there's the fact of the day.
So remember,
that's incredible. Because you look at it and you think, 215.
We'll show you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what we've got here, you notice this open door, we get raw materials that come in several times every day, and that's what you're looking at here. We have two different styles of that. You can see the solid stock there. That's aluminum bar, right? And it comes in, and we'll show you what we can do with that. The other piece is, this will come up a little bit later, these impact blanks. And what those are is essentially, those are closer to the shape of a rifle scope to begin with. That lets us kind of speed up the machining time, reduce some of the scrap,
right,
if we're going to do a bunch of a specific thing. Okay, so let's take a peek in here. It's pretty neat.
Okay, let's do it.
If you look over there on that side right now,
you
can see the back end of one scope sticking out of the spindle. And then over here, we're working on the front end of a new one.
Gotcha.
You can see the raw.
So what's is that water, or is that oil and water, or what?
That's a lubricant, and most of it's vegetable based. So what we can do, you notice a lot of those scraps coming out at the end, right? We can take and take those. We've got a centrifuge over here where we spin it really fast. The oil separates from the metals. The metals end up dry and completely recyclable. We can reuse that lubricant. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you reuse the lubricant?
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's.
And then what do the shavings go to?
We go back, and we have a machine back there that squishes them together into big hockey pucks.
Okay.
So that it's more dense.
Okay.
They go into trucks, goes back to the supplier. We recycle it, and eventually it makes its way back in.
So you actually see in the background some new equipment coming in. We literally invest millions of dollars each year in our factory, and we're investing in American manufacturing. That's one of the things that, you know, we're a family-owned company, and our shareholders and our family shareholders believe in American manufacturing and investing in it, and we continue to do that every year. So, big deal to us.
What we do in here, you'll notice these machines are a little more hand crank, right?
Yep.
A little more manual. We use a lot of tools out here, and you can't just go to a Walmart or an Ace Hardware or something like that and say, I need this cutting tool for this index machine, right?
So you're actually making tools in
We have to build our own, it's so specialized, we have to build our own tooling.
Yeah, of course,
and we've got a great example of it down here in this box.
Okay.
So, as an example, when you look at a rifle scope, you know, we've all seen where your adjustments go.
Yep.
So in order to mill some of that in, if you really look at it, you've got threads here, that's how your adjustment covers go in. You notice that's a different shape as you go around it, almost like a dual dovetail type ring. And in order to machine all those features in there, you need a pretty specialized tool. This is how you would get all of that accomplished all
Gotcha.
at once. But we start with raw tool steel.
Okay.
And so these are the steps of machining that until you get it down to your final piece, that this then can go in one of the machines and fill out those pockets the way that we need it. That's not something you can just go get out of a vending machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So what you're going to notice down here is where we're starting to use all those tools, and these are big machines with lots of spindles on them.
Right.
And they make some of our smallest parts. It seems a little backwards, but when you see how complex they are, you need to do a lot of operations all at once. So let's go take a look in the front of this one.
Okay.
And you'll see it looks a lot like a progressive loader for reloading shells. Now, we can look in from the other side, but what this shows, if you look, you see all the different heads moving in and out. So this. If you look at the name of this machine, it says it's an MS-40. MS is for multiple spindle. So what you're seeing in there is there's multiple things turning. And if you look at how we would reload shotgun shells or any type of shells, those progressive loaders that do one stage at a time, that's what these machines are doing. They're doing one operation for the final piece at a time at each one of these stations.
So we looked inside there, all that's going on, and that's what you're building.
We're making this, and it's going to be hard to catch on camera, right? But when you look in there, there's about 5 or 6 different diameters, 2 or 3 different threads, more threads back here, a stop, you've got dimples out here. Every one of those features is absolutely critical.
Incredible.
And so if you try to run that all on a lathe or something else, that's 15 different operations, it's different programs. Here you set it up and it can do all those and kick them out.
Amazing.
Every single one of these parts we make that goes into the scope has to be perfect. It has to be perfect for that scope to work the way that we expect it to. We go through a battery of testing with every single one of our products goes through that.
You're part of what I love on this part of the tour. Where's your scope made? Right here,
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
It's awesome.
Good. Now let's keep going.
So what are we looking at here?
So these are main tubes. We saw them run out there.
Right.
When they come back in, we do a little bit of hand finishing, some of the stuff that we saw over here, and then they need to be anodized, right? And so we anodize the raw main tube. We do all the other parts that go inside, but I think kind of the neatest part to watch is the main tube. So it's big. We need to put things like serial numbers and model numbers and all that on there, and we do that just right in here in our laser room. So we take these main tubes, then they can be tracked easier, and they become a real product at that point, right? They're serialized, and away we go.
And what scope is this? It's a big scope.
That is a VX3i, 6.5 to 20, 8.5 to 25.
Nice.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoTV was brought to you by Mossy Oak.